Hi, I'm Karen Collins, and today I'm here with Dr. Britt Burton-Freeman, a renowned researcher regarding substances that you maybe used to consider antioxidants, and we'll talk about why our understanding of that is evolving. Dr. Burton-Freeman is director of the Center for Nutrition Research at the Institute for Food Safety and Health at the Illinois Institute of Technology, and also does research as part of work at the University of California, Davis. So thank you so much for this time today. I appreciate it so much.
Sure. Thank you for asking me.
It's about these compounds, phytochemicals in plant foods. They're really not acting as antioxidants since they're changed and end up within us in different forms. So we're the whole myths of choosing foods based on an ORAC score or other measure of laboratory antioxidant function. We're not talking about that anymore. But your research has identified a number of health impacts of including more of these foods, these nutrient-rich compound, phytochemical-rich compounds in our foods. You've got heart data, you've got data in terms of this insulin resistance. What are you seeing in terms of heart health?
Well, we're working with berries, and so one of the things that we visually see about berries is their color, and those colors come from these phytochemicals. So it's the mechanism of color, so to speak. And on the heart health side, we've been working with strawberries. We see that a relatively crude extract of strawberries, which would contain these phytochemicals, have an impact on nitric oxide and vasorelaxation.
Let me stop you there. That's a mechanism for helping reduce and control blood pressure, vasodilation.
I'm sorry, yes. And so then we go to the clinic and we test that to see, all right, if this is what we call preclinical data is showing, do we actually see that benefit when we eat it ourselves? And that would be in blood pressure lowering effects, absolutely. And so we know that as a traditional marker of elevated for hypertension, but hypertension is a risk factor for heart disease. In the area of insulin resistance, this is an area that's really starting to unfold, and so it's one of those, keep an eye on it, there's more to come. And berries, anthocyanin-rich foods are right there, trying to understand mechanism, but what does that mean when we consume them? If we have increased insulin sensitivity, we're putting less stress on the pancreas. We have better glucose control. So it's it kind of fans out and having an impact on a variety of endpoints, heart health, cognitive health. So it really kind of crosses over.
When you start talking about lower levels of circulating insulin all the time, trying to get past that. And so already people hearing about reducing insulin resistance are told to increase the fiber content of their diet, choose more high fiber foods. And that's a completely separate path than what you're talking about.
That's right. Yeah.
So as you eat more of these berries and other fruits, vegetables, whole grains, you're getting more fiber, that's a place. But now these compounds are actually involved in insulin sensitivity, and the mechanism you're still not. That's the work in progress.
It's at the cellular level, and our work, as well as other labs, which is always an important. It's the totality of evidence,
Absolutely.
And it's working through these cell signaling mechanisms in our muscle cells, for example, and our fat cells, and so that we improve glucose entry into the cell.
So the cells respond better
Exactly.
to the insulin.
Absolutely.
And then...
so you need less of it. If it responds better, you need less of the
Right.
insulin signal.
Right. So that's pretty exciting when you see this widespread result. And in terms of heart health, you were also finding, beside the blood pressure effect, in terms of lipids, changes in LDL level and the really atherogenic, heart-damaging qualities of those LDL, right?
Right. Well, and that's an exciting science. You go to the doctor and you get your lipid panel, you get your total cholesterol, your LDL cholesterol, and it provides quite a bit of information. But what we're learning now, and this is actually quite a few years, several years worth of research, is that size of the particles matter, so whether they're bigger or smaller. And so these small, dense LDL particles are more atherogenic. They can get under the vessel wall more easily. They can be oxidized more easily. So we want these, the cholesterol that's being carried around, we want to carry it around in bigger lipoproteins as opposed to smaller lipoproteins. What's held that back for doctors using that in normal practice and everyday practice is that, sometimes some of, detecting sizes of particles or whether they're oxidized or not takes, sophisticated technology. It's the research that drives technology development. We have kits now that use antibodies, so we can detect oxidized LDL in the bloodstream. I'm sure that's going to be, not too far behind CRP, for example. That's, more and more being measured routinely in a doctor's office. Right now, to do particle size, this is big technology, and so it might be some time, but it really gives us an appreciation that sometimes it's just not all about concentration. It has to do with other components of metabolism in the body.
Well, and the bottom line is if in research you're able to identify these protective effects, people can know that even if it's not being measured in their doctor's offices, there is reason to believe that the effects are much greater than just those very surface and simple things.
Right, the research is supporting it, absolutely.